Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. Thanks for joining again. I actually wanted to pop in and talk to you guys about a shop update that I have coming up. So I'm actually in the stage where I'm planning when and what I want to have in this drop. So I sort of wanted to bring you guys along and sort of talk through what I was thinking about. So the first thing is that I think I want to do this shop update in January. I know people are going to be sort of shopped out from buying and traveling around the holidays. But I think for me, it'll be a good time to use this holiday season to make and to just focus on creating instead of trying to release something for the holidays. And I think that's going to give me about 6 to 7 weeks to really work on the pieces that I want to share with you all. The next thing I'm planning is what's going to be in that shop update. I think that's going to evolve as I get time to make and get time to make mistakes and create. So I know that's going to change the list that I have, but here's what I have so far. I want to do the cups, so you guys can already see I'm making a pretty large batch of cups and mugs. I'm loving this angular shape. It's something that teaches me every time I throw, every time I trim, every time I make any sort of adjustments or handling to the cups. So I think that's something that I want to continue on for as long as I can. The next thing that I want to make are those cups with doves. I think I actually shared that with you guys a little bit a while ago. To me, they sort of ask you to think and ask you to look and ask you to touch, and I love that artistic element to them. So I want to continue to make those, whether they be for commission, for sale, or even to put in local coffee shops around here. So I think I want to include that in the shop update as well. The next thing that I want to do are candle plates or plates. They're really just like trinket plates. I can put anything on them that I want, but I have a specific picture in mind where I can see the light from the candles reflecting off of that plate. I can see sort of the wax melting down onto the plate in contrast to whatever glazes that I use. So I'm really excited to see how those turn out. I still have some experimentation to do, or experimenting to do, but I'm excited to sort of release those. Another thing along those lines are coasters. They're very similar in build to plates, but I think I could do sort of like a slab build for them. And then I really want to make those because it's going to highlight the texture of the clay that I'm using. So the clay does a lot of work for me, if I'm being honest. It's so rich, it's so deep, it's so gritty. So it provides that texture in depth when anybody's ever looking at them or actually touching them, and I love that. And I think that that's something that I could pull out naturally if I'm making coasters for people to set stuff on. So that's sort of what I'm thinking for what's going to be in the shop update, when that's going to be, but that can change. We may adjust depending on how well this making cycle goes. At the moment, I'm feeling really inspired to make the things that are currently in this cycle, but I'm also feeling motivated to make those things. So while I have this motivation, while I have the inspiration, I'm gonna go ahead and try to ride this wave into the next shop update. So those are my plans for the potential shop update in January. I'm interested in what you guys think. You guys have seen this clay over the last few videos, so if you could comment down below, what sort of objects, whether functional or just decorative, do you think would highlight the texture in this clay? And or have you guys used a black clay before, and what's been your experience with it? glad you guys could join again. Today is an interesting day because I'm actually making improvements on the process of making the mugs that I've been doing over the last couple weeks. In my last session where I was handling mugs, I learned a ton about what works and what doesn't. I tried to adjust a little bit during that session, which you guys saw, but I actually made a number of improvements just to help with the shape of the handle a little bit more. So what I actually did for these cups today is, once attaching the handle that I've made, I wanted to have a bit of a more secure or thicker attachment at the top. And so how I achieved that look after attaching the handle at first was I put a bead around that top attachment. So I'm actually very pleased with how that turned out. It makes it a lot more similar to the pulled mug look that I had at the beginning. And then another thing that has helped this look more like a pulled mug is narrowing the slab that I used for the handle. So at the top, it's probably about 1 inch wide, or like almost 3 centimeters wide. And then down at the bottom, this is probably about 1.5 centimeters wide. So that helps it look like it's been naturally pulled down. For this particular handle, I did have to adjust and pull some, but I'm liking this look. Another thing that's interesting about these mugs is they are going to be a little different. So if I take a look at this very first one that I made, you can see there's quite a bit of space between the lip of the mug down to the handle. But with these ones, the handle is a little bit higher, so have more leverage here. And then on this one, it looks like it's actually attached at the very top. So they're going to vary just a little bit. I'm very excited about it because yes, it's like I want to make the same thing and I want to make things uniform, but I also want each cup to sort of have its own story, its own look, and its own uniqueness to itself. So that said, so far I've handled about 4 mugs and I've got like 10 to go. So I'm very excited with how today has gone. Okay guys, I'm gonna sign off and I'll see you in the studio next week.